Hi guys, Hail Mary Meets everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, North American Snow Queen, and we got two guests today. You may not know the first guy. His name is Mike. He happens to be one of the people I hang out with on occasion at the Sick Kitchen. And of course, you know Dory. Dory has been on videos with me for the last few together. So we're going to start with something simple. First of all, how was your holiday? How was your Christmas and your Yule?
It's kind of sad. I really didn't do much.
I didn't either. What about you?
I kind of feel bad because I had a pretty good Christmas.
That's good. At least some people should.
Well, it's more was for my grandchildren more than anything.
Well, you know, me and Mike unfortunately don't really have family, so I don't really get a chance to. However, I did have Sherry Davis came over for a brief while during the Yule convocation.
I'm sorry I missed that. I said I'm sorry I missed that.
Yeah, I know. But you couldn't help it anyway. It was just that the same day I had that with Will, so the day before we had the dentist appointment. You would have been kind of, I don't know how you would have gotten here on the weekend. But, day. I wanted to talk to you guys about what are your plans for the upcoming year for 2015?
I'm gonna lose 100 pounds.
I'm gonna save $100.
No, sounds like me and Mike are trying to do the same thing.
No, I'm gonna lose 100 pounds.
Actually, I think you guys can do it. I know we can do it. If you don't buy cameras, and put it in video studio work. Oh yes, we forgot there was the third person. Fourth, yeah, me. It's almost always given them. Maybe that should be, that'll be another side view. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But right now, so what do you guys plan? I mean,
I want to join Planet Fitness.
Okay. And how much is that going to cost you for?
$10 a month.
Okay. So the $100 she's trying to save would pay for your year-long membership.
And by that time, I want to lose it.
That's just trying to make a little bit of a joke. Listen, I don't think it went over good.
This is funny. I am laughing.
Michele, this is going to be funny.
Yeah, it usually ends up that way. No kidding. Anyway, also wanted to ask you guys, Mike, I don't know if you ever seen Once Upon a Time before, but wanted to talk to you about tonight's episode that we saw in the end, how the Snow Queen did the equivalent of calamari, of killing herself. Do you think that it really was necessary that she kill herself?
No.
I don't know. She seemed like she was just really depressed.
She seemed like she was happy, too, that she found her sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably had the grace of her beauty undefamed until her sisters came, so she threw a fit.
Mm-hmm.
I think what it was is that, as far as the story goes, is like she said in the end, she said, to Ingrid, Ingrid called her a monster. She was angry about it, but then in the end she says, no, in the end, the monster is what they have become. Because she had gotten everything so twisted up. And I think in mental health, we would look at that today and say is she's going to need a lot of therapy. I don't think we would have gone ahead and tell her go ahead and commit suicide. I feel that was the reason why it makes this story made me very sad when I first saw it. Was because I saw in the Snow Queen the practice that there was really a very beautiful person that just misunderstood everything that was to be. I mean, she so much wanted to make up for the. Now, Dory knows the story better than you do, as far. So let me explain this. There was 3 sisters. There was Helga, Ingrid, which is the white-haired one, the Snow Queen, and of course Ingrid. Ingrid, Helga, and what was the other one? Okay, 3 anyway. I'm just one time Weaselton was kind of teasing her, and she meant to give him a nasty surprise. What happened was her sister Helga accidentally got in the way, and she killed her sister. But it wasn't because she wanted to kill her sister. From the very beginning, the 3 sisters had planned to come up with a backup strategy in case Ingrid's power got too strong. Thus the urn was created, which the 3 sisters got from Rumpelstiltskin, which is Mr. Gold in the series. But what I think is sad is that I am the Snow Queen. At least I'm more of the real thing. Beget, and you know, like you watched another video I played for you in Christmas Story, you saw that I'm not a monster. I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person. And Mike knows that too. But I don't think I could ever want to cause such a horrible curse called Shattered Sight, where it makes everybody evil and cold. I think that would be really way beyond anything I could ever even imagine doing, because I think that would go against every whole fiber of my body. So here's my question is, was Ingrid's death in vain?
No. I don't think so. Vain is like when you really want to kill somebody. She just did it because she was happy that
actually
she
the
wanted.
word in this case, vain, means worthless.
Excuse me.
I mean, could she have solved the problem by other means?
Probably.
Anyway.
Probably so. If she had gotten to know her sisters better, maybe they could have become allies.
I think that if I was in her shoes, I think the first thing I would have done is I would have said, I have to reverse the spell. Now I know the truth. I mean, but then again, I'm the kind of personality that would never let anger get into my head like that. Oh, excuse me?
I know, right, Michele?
You talk about anger. You still have a little bit of anger against your own mother. Yeah, I did many years ago, but I worked that out. Like we said, Christmas Day, Eve. It's just that's too bad your mother didn't want to work it out.
I watched that video. That video was very, very touching. And I just hope someday, Michele, you can make peace with your mother. I just hope it ain't too late before that happens.
Well, I think that I put out the olive branch. It's not my fault if my mother puts gasoline on it and sets it alight. I try to make peace, and so I think that that's the reason why we have to understand that my mother is just an angry person. Let me just, shift this over there, so at least I get a couple screws in between. Well, you guys might end up, one of you might end up being off the camera a little bit, but they can't help that. And suppose you're wondering what I'm talking about. You try to squeeze 3 people into a room that barely can hold 2. We had to make some video trickery to get everybody in the room together. But as far as the other things in my life, both of you know me. What do you think of me personally?
Pretty nice person.
What about you, Tori?
Michele, I've known you for a while. I'm in this past almost 8 months, 9 months. I got to really know you. I really don't know Lumi as well as I know you, but I just want you to know that I think very, very highly of you. I think you're very, very talented, and for someone that can't see 2 feet in front of her, you're very smart.
Yeah. No, just remember, brains don't necessarily correlate with your eyesight.
Excuse me, but you're very, very talented.
Yeah.
Like I said, for someone that can't see 2 feet in front of her, she can make a video and make this all happen.
Yeah. And I think that it's also amazing that I have the ability, even though maybe it's not the greatest, that I have the ability to reach out to people and to encourage people to show the better side.
I feel like I'm getting a sunburn. I feel like I'm getting a sunburn.
Just because it's not ultraviolet lights.
These lights are bright.
Yeah, these lights
Camera
are bright.
lighting is very, 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 very bright, so you can see everything, because you want to be able to have a full picture.
Yeah.
Right. And on
if
top
you're
of
making
that,
a picture and you barely see anything, it's like.
besides that, we got rid of the CFLs because they were causing ultraviolet rays that were burning my eyeballs. The cats like it though because they consider it like their electric sun. They can sit there like it's what Frame's playing there. He's enjoying the warmth of the sun. Okay, it plugs into the mains outlet and it's a 300-watt incandescent light bulb, but still, he's enjoying it, And Rusty, I don't know where he is, but what do you guys think about the future for humankind? Since we do know something about how they say that global cooling is going to start ramping up within the next 2 to 3 years. The temperatures are going to drop to the point where you'll be wearing long johns in June.
Excuse me, I got this
How is that
horrible
going to
cough.
affect the homeless populations? If we get into cold temperatures like that in June, you guys, many of you don't even have much clothing.
It depends. Depends. If
If
it's
you
too
had,
cold and people aren't well bundled, they could freeze to death.
yeah,
It's hard to get places when it's all snowy, so they could get lost out there. Something could happen to them. You know what I mean?
one of the things that worries me is the fact that I think that, my season, as I said, is from Yule to Stara, but, which is December 21st this year until March 22nd. And yet, I know that some people say, well, you're snuggling. Screw being nice to everybody. Make them suffer. That's not my job. My job is not to make you live short and suffer. My job is to be there to show the good side.
How come we don't have a summer queen?
There should be.
There could be.
4
There is
seasons.
a stewardess.
The four queens, 4 seasons.
There is one for each of the 7 regions. The problem is not all of the positions were filled.
Oh.
I think last year Mother Asna did summer for United States and Southwest Greenland because she didn't have a replacement. She asked me last year I did spring. She asked me to do spring. She wasn't sure if we could do other seasons. I did spring. But I did okay. That's why we had a cool spring this year. Remember how cool it was in spring of 2014?
Yeah.
That was my work. I was so glad to get out of that one. After I did my, I said, okay, Mom, that's a wrap. I did my share now. I said, it's June 21st. Guess what? I hand the microphone back to you. Well, I did from March, April, May, June, which was the 3 summer months. Spring. Plus I did December, January, February, March. So last year I did 6 months. And you remember how cold it was in March. And remember how cold it was in April.
Yeah.
It wasn't very warm at all, was it?
It wasn't really warm in May either.
Because I'm not really think too warm. Usually I hate when it's too warm, so I kept the thermostat down. I didn't want it to get too hot. I mean, 50s and 60s is about as far as I could go, but I didn't want to go any warmer than that. I said
70s is okay.
70s
That's
is
room
okay.
temperature. 60s is a little cool, but it's kind of comfy.
I like 60s.
I heard you like the little...
I like 50s too.
The coolness in the air, you know? pH, whatever it is, whatever you need, you know?
Yeah.
Pheromones, pH, cold, hot, dry, moist.
Some people just seem to like certain environments.
Oh my God.
And, but,
This ain't gonna be.
I mean, what, I think Mother might have an opening for summer.
Is there a Snow King?
I think there was.
Yeah, there could be a Snow King. Technically, there could be a Snow King. Why
King
not?
Cold.
King Cold.
From Dragon Ball Z. He's the father of Frieza. If you ever heard of Frieza, I don't know.
No.
You probably don't know Dragon Ball Z very well, but there's a character, his name is Frieza.
Is that from the X-Men?
No, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z, okay.
For X-Men, I think it would be Silver Surfer, wouldn't it? He's got ice powers.
I thought it was Storm that had ice powers.
Well, Storm has...
Wind powers.
She's got weather power, so I think she can make people freeze as much as she
And then,
can make
of course,
hurricanes
we all
and
know
tornadoes.
Mr. Freeze from...
Mr. Freeze is the freeze guy from Batman.
Right.
Yeah. So what are you getting to? Is it cold or is it hot? Flame on from the Fantastic Four.
Well, the thing is that I love what I do. I mean, but I also love the fact is that, like I said in my Yule Convocation, which I'll play for you guys later on, is I love winter, not because it's, I mean, after the death of the crone, which happens in you know, prior to December 21st, from, you know, let's see, that Samhain to Ostara, I mean, Samhain and Mabon, I mean, the death of the crone, the old woman, and then, of course, we realize we start all over again, a new cycle, and then rebirth, which is Yule. It's when the Earth goes to its resting stage for our hemisphere, and then you get this, you know, then the baby Earth grows up, and then all spring, after a start, all the plants come out of the ground, and all the, you know,
It's the best time of year.
animals come out of hibernation
Spring
and everything.
summer. Oh, that's the best
But
time.
one of the things, like I pointed out, is,
Michele hates it, but I love it.
huh?
I love summer and spring.
Yeah.
I don't mind spring, I don't mind autumn, but I sure the hell don't like summer. Because it's just too hot for me. And let's be honest, we're getting barbecued over here. 900 watts of heat at this. But we'll have to just grin and bear it, because if we didn't have the light, you wouldn't be able to see us. No, we might as well do a radio broadcast.
I have a question for Lumi.
Alright.
What does Lumi think about you being a snow queen?
I was a snow queen from 1870 to 1910, so Michelle's just kind of carrying on legacy.
Yeah, but how is that possible? How could you be like?
In this case, it's not like
You were.
it's not.
Lumi was a snow queen and when?
It's more of an honorific, I think, because Mom really specifically only selected certain people based on their personalities for the tasks at hand. And some people have the right, feature set that Mom was looking for. And that is...
Who's Mom?
Mother Osna. And so,
So Lumi was in 18 what?
1870 to 1910.
And you carried that on?
When I went through the coronation on 2011, December 21st, is when I actually got my crown. So I've been doing this now for 4 years.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. I actually enjoy it because, unlike Hans Christian Andersen's Snow Queen, I get a chance to show people that the Snow Queen is not necessarily a monster, but rather is a human being that has a heart.
How come you can't freeze things then?
That's not what my power is. My power
That'd
is...
be cool if you just be like, fame, icicle candy.
Yes, it would be.
Fame scream, like ice cream.
Where are you going?
But my power is more in the area of weather manipulation more than freezing.
I know you have a cup of coffee, but I was asking if she had a coffee. You have no coffee here, do you?
I have tea. I can make you some tea.
I wouldn't mind some tea. Where do you keep your tea bags? I can put some water on.
I'll get some afterwards.
Alright.
Alright.
I don't know if you have any cold kind of medicine.
And now he backs away from the camera.
Am I backed away?
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry about it. This is kind of a tight squeeze over here.
I know we're all like, wee!
I got a freaking...
After all, let's be honest.
Cold.
Yeah, I got one.
It's playing with me right now.
But
It's starting to really get on my nerves.
What's that?
This cold.
Yeah, I don't like this. It's cold.
No, he has a cold and he said
Oh,
it's getting on his nerves.
Like at you.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about giving me a cold. I've pretty much got all my immune system's up to date, so.
Let's hope so.
But I do believe that I do have some other powers in addition to just manipulating winter weather. I think that...
Well, I remember when
I touched your back.
when my shoulder hurt, she touched it and it got really, 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 really hot. And
Yeah.
then really, really hot. And it just the pain for that moment that she was had her hand on my shoulder, it was my neck. It was my neck.
Yeah.
And it just the pain went away for a couple seconds and then she took her hand up and it was there.
Yeah. Oh, I've actually bought some digital thermometers so I could actually do some scientific experiments with that. Let me try to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now it seems that my left hand is the one that has the ability and not the right. I'm going to try to work with your hand. I'm going to see if I can make your hand cold.
I'm going to try.
I'm not going to make icicles. Okay. Getting colder?
No. Your hand is actually very warm.
But her hand will make your hand cold.
No.
Yeah, it will.
My hands naturally are mostly always cold, even in the summertime.
Well, we actually got a little bit of air gap between us right
But
now.
you also have very warm hands, so I doubt that my hands already being cold are going to get any colder. You understand?
Well, you surprised
I
me.
mean, I do feel you actually trying to convert energy into cold.
By absorbing the heat.
Or doing whatever it is that you choose to make cold energy.
And you notice the effort. And so does that seem like it's getting colder anyway?
No, I just feel warm spurts of energy transferring into my hand.
Right. If I put my other hand in Dory's hand, she'll probably notice that my other hand is getting really hot.
Your hand was already hot, dude.
You feel it, Tori?
It is getting warm. I can feel it.
And I feel my hand, your hand is getting colder, Mike. It is getting colder. Yes, it is. I can feel it.
I can feel your heat coming from here to my hand.
Basically, I work like a giant heat pump.
Yeah.
In other words, I'm taking the heat out of one body.
Switch hands. Feel how hot this hand is.
Yeah, because she's taking the cold out of your hand.
I can't switch hands like that.
It would be a good idea to take the cold out of your hand.
I mean, I could try. Okay.
Oh yeah, I can feel the difference. This hand's cold compared to your hand. That hand.
Yeah. That hand is fucking fire, dude. I'm sure this hand isn't any warmer than the other hand, but her hand, when she handed me...
Does my hand seem colder to you, Dory?
Her hand is warm.
How cold does it seem to you?
Gotta do something about this.
I know.
What we did is the same job that an air conditioner does, or a refrigerator. That is to absorb the heat from one surface and to radiate out, or by contact, heating the other surface. So in other words, I absorb the heat like an air conditioner does from the room, and with my left hand, and then the right hand acts as the exhaust of the air conditioner, and it sends the heat out into you. I mean, if I ever, for example, I'm not touching her shoulder with my right hand. My right hand is like the icy hot patch. It just gets warm. It doesn't get super hot. You feel that, Dory?
A little bit.
Now, if I touch yours, because you already got a cold jacket, you need a little heat. And you can probably start to feel like this. My fingers are starting to absorb the heat from your muscles. You feel that? Think of it as icy hot patch. What do you feel, Dory?
Cold.
What about you, Mike?
I'm getting warmer. Is that actually working?
Yeah.
If you're getting cold and I feel like I'm getting warm, I kind of believe this more.
Well, it could be, because I mean, it's just like it's like a heat pump. Maybe what my body's done is
What she's doing is she's taking the heat out of
from
my
Dory
body,
and pumping it to your neck.
Well, I mean, this could be an interesting method for people who are in, like, the Navy. Because you know how they go in the cold?
It's not really that interesting, Michele.
No.
I could do that. I could do that.
Because, I mean, like, a whole bunch of guys who are fresh and warm, you know how they huddle together for a month? Why don't you just bring them to the guys who have all the warmth and just transfer the warmth? To a degree, immunize yourself through that and prepare yourself for the water. It'd probably make you go long faster, stuff like that.
Think of it this way. Okay, you probably have more. I'm used to refrigerator as a comparison. I can even use a heat pump. A heat pump, as you know, can switch from cold to heat, right? Well, basically, when you turn the heat pump to heat, what is it doing? It's drawing the heat from the outside air. Even though the outside air is colder, it's still energy there. So what I'm doing is my body is taking the energy and is pumping it into whatever I choose to pump it into. Okay? And there's only one danger about that process. Don't try to freeze boiling water. You'll cook yourself. That's not the way you think. What it means is because you're trying to bring something from 100 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius. That means that my body has to absorb a net gain of 100 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Unless I'm touching something that's a larger heat radiator. That's going to mean that all the heat is going to build up in me. That's one of the reasons in the summer I get so sick. Because I try to cool myself, but I can't. After all, where am I supposed to take all the excess heat? I can't just dump it somewhere. There's nothing to dump it on. If I lay it on a cold floor, like a stone floor, then the floor is already cold, right? Because it's stone. It doesn't absorb heat as fast. What it means if I was trying to take let's say for example this is like a mausoleum, or even just like a room like like the floor of McDonald's. Perfect example. Let's just say it's a small little room, but besides my kitchen with actual slate or concrete floor, I lay on the floor, and I can actually make the room colder.
Yeah.
And I would actually be able to sleep on that floor, and I would actually, it wouldn't bother me. Because what I'm doing is I can use my body to transfer the heat from the air into the floor. The floor is dense. It's a big surface.
Yeah.
And it will absorb the energy. That's why if you go inside a building that's made out of stone, it seems cooler than if you're in a building that's made out of wood. Because the density of the material acts as a heat radiator, a black, which absorbs the heat, or in this case, absorbs the heat. So what I'm going to be doing in a few months, as soon as my 2 thermometers come, is I'm going to start practicing improving on my cryokinesis ability, because I do know I have cryokinetic ability. I want to work on it.
I'll help you work on it, because I know how to do some of that stuff sometimes. Like sometimes I'm alone.
The first thing I could always use
like
some.
when I was in the woods.
I can use some help with right now is finding somebody who can watch the thermometers, and because what I was going to do is I was going to put the digital thermometers, and they have little probes. I was going to put one underneath an oven mitt under my left hand, and one underneath, on top of the oven mitts, so my hands would be comfortable. So my hands would make contact with those probes, okay? And the idea is to see if I can then, for the simple test of transfer heat from one to the other, as well as set up a thermometer, the 2 thermometers that normally make iPhones the stopwatch. The idea is, let's see how much longer it takes for me to drop the temperature of the one of the probes. I also want to work doing what they call a cold pressure test, which, if you may know what it is a bucket of ice. The idea is to put your hand in there, and see how long you can tolerate it.
Yeah.
And Looney wanted to do it too, because
that's like the ice bucket challenge that everybody did.
No, not ice bucket. Oh, it is ice bucket, but you don't pour it over you. You put your whole body or your hand in it.
I did that.
And how did you manage?
I did it. I'll show you a video of it.
What'd you do?
No, that ice bucket challenge that everybody did? I did.
Yeah, they would pour a bucket of ice, water. You got to be careful sometimes, because people, if they drop it from too high, the ice chunks can hurt you or cut you or something.
Or like you hear about one guy, they were trying to do this for charity, and so the fireman put it on the bucket truck, and what happened was the bucket truck hit power lines.
And the guy got electrocuted.
Yeah. Nice try, guys, but I don't think that's what they meant by putting them on ice. It's a freeze part. Yeah, almost done. Well, if you want to go ahead, you can just go ahead and sit on the side if you want. If you want to chill out.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Nice speaking with you. Happy holidays.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you leaving?
All right. So now what we can do is. So let's just move these chairs. Let's put this middle chair away here. Over here, Mike. So anyway, what I was going to ask you was, what do you personally think about if you had, Angel, and better known as Angel Creolestis, used to live over next door over there, told me that I did have some ability, but I wonder how much can I really improve it?
It depends. It really depends. Mirrors sometimes help build energies, different objects, light objects, heavy objects, things like feathers that you could float them in the air or something.
Yeah, well, my power has nothing to do with levitation.
What are you trying to do? Move an object?
I want to improve my ability to freeze things.
Huh?
I want the ability, I would like to be able to have a glass of water and touch it and freeze it solid.
Huh.
That's what I want to be able to do.
You want to be able to freeze stuff.
Yeah, and also probably even do the opposite, inverse and boil it.
Inverse boiling?
That's what it tells me that ain't gonna happen in no 5 minutes, that's for sure.
Oh.
Because you saw what I could do. I mean, you weren't sensitive to it, but don't forget, you were not understand that. You know, because you live in the street. You're used to being in a cold environment. So what you probably noticed from my body doing probably didn't seem that extreme to you. But I mean, let's try this again. Let's see if I can.
I think she's in bed.
Feel it?
I do feel you trying. I do feel a little bit of manipulation.
Aha. Okay.
A
It's
little
good
bit
enough.
of
I don't want
energy
you to
drop.
frostbite. You know what I was trying to prove. Is that I do have some ability. Think about how cool that would be. You want to make ice cream, but you don't got a ice cream maker. Just put some milk into a shaker.
That would be cool. That's all you'd have to do.
Pretty much. I would have to go to companies to buy ice cream when I can go ahead and make my own.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't need the ice or salt to do it.
No, you wouldn't.
That's cool. So anyway, I would like to know if you'd ever like to be on camera again sometime.
Sure.
I mean, I thank you very much. It was actually kind of let me just explain to people. We didn't even know that Mike was going to come today. We didn't even know Dory was going to come today. But they came. So Mother Austin obviously wanted them to be here tonight, and that's why they're here. And it was nice. It's nice having people show up on occasion. You know, and I thank you. And I also thank all of you for watching this video. We're not going to edit this down any.
We don't need to edit anything. You keep it up.
There's the chroma key background you asked me about, Mike.
Oh,
You
yes.
really want to know how it's done? I'll
Oh,
show
yeah.
you.
Yes, please. All right.
Well, for right now, folks, we're going to let
This
you go.
works.
And you want to say together one? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.